Hello, everyone. There we go. How are you guys? How is everyone doing? And look at that, the music finished right where it should be. So let's turn it off a little. And I hope you can hear me. And there is maybe some music in the background. Let me know. Mihol, Pantera Gaming, Asdi, Amari, Rafael, Ascend. Hello everyone. How's it going? Hope you're having a productive day. It's 7 p.m. here in Istanbul now. I wanted to go live, say hello, chill with you guys, and get some personal projects done along the way. Get some questions answered if you have some questions. So we already got a couple of questions I'm going to take a look at. Welcome, Ashish. Hey buddy, good evening. I'm doing great. It's just super busy, very productive though. I can say that. So the first question from Mihol before we get started into today's environment. So Mihol, buddy, you have a question. You're making an interactive walkthrough, and while you're packaging it, it says couldn't find the module of data math core. Any suggestions? As for your question, honestly, there can be millions of reasons why packaging is not happening. The best place I recommend going through after our Discord server and posting some screenshots and maybe the log of what's going on. Epic Games, Unreal. So what I can share with you, Mehul, because I don't have an answer. When I was learning Unreal Engine, I used to go to the forums in Unreal, and Epic is doing amazing work working and improving on the forums, and I used to go to a place related to my question if I couldn't find answer anywhere, and I would post about it here in detail somewhere in the forums. So I always used to get answers. Almost there are no times I didn't get answers. That's in my experience for me. So when doors are closed, this is a place I recommend going to. So I wish you good luck, Mehul, with the module error you're getting through. This is the first time I see it, to be honest. Also, feel free to join us on Discord and write about it there. The community there is extremely helpful. Raphael, TMN here in Jasper, Canada. What about you guys? Where are you watching from? So where is everyone now? What time is it? So, while we're having our chat, there are places. I'm nearly finished now with this piece. I didn't touch it since the last stream, I believe. And maybe if I did, I just finished some parts that were so boring to watch. And now it's time to add more details on top of our block out. So I consider some of the decals on some of these walls as a placeholders, and the rest are great. Like all of them, they look really nice, but I feel like from this shot, and I want also to get rid of this part here, because I feel like if we see her from this type of view, she looks amazing, and I want to go back in this and like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I have these ideas in mind, and so far it's going great, but I feel here we could use more decals. So what I'm going to do is to select all these decals, and I'm also going to show you, maybe see if we can pull some tricks with the modeling tools inside Unreal. So I'm trying to locate the decals here. Okay. Now, one of the things I'd like to fix directly inside Unreal Engine, let's see if we get lucky, is detaching this mesh into like this piece alone, so I can fix the UVs here, okay? The UV mapping here is box mapping, and since we have 6 sides, when you apply box mapping, you may get some things like this. So, before we get into the modeling tools, to get into the modeling tools, go here and go to modeling. But before we get more into this, I'm going to check on the chat on you guys, see where are you from. So Asdi from Pakistan, 9 p.m. India, 9:40 p.m. Hafiz from China, 10 a.m. Wait, let me use Google Translate. Sergi from Moscow, 19, so that should be what, around the same time as now, 7. Egypt is 6 p.m. I know. Good guys, it's a pleasure to have all of you. Welcome. So now when we press Shift 5, which is the shortcut, actually let me do something as well. I think I fixed the problem. Let me fill some water and let me know if you can see me. Yeah, I fixed it. So hello everyone. So are you staying hydrated? How is the music? Is it good? Is it loud? So I hope my actually, see, I'm glad we took a look at this. I'm gonna put my image here so we don't affect the modeling tools. And yeah, Harun is sitting there. I'm gonna let him say hello later. Let's put this here. Let's put the shot on the side. And let's go. So I have this piece, and this piece currently, if we press Ctrl B, it is located in our content browser here. It's called Mesh 28. Nice. And what I'd like to do is to press Shift 5 and detach some parts from here. So I'm going to triangle select as my first attempt, and I'm just going to click and drag, and it will do selection for me. I wonder if there are options regarding hit back faces. So what I'm going to do is to isolate my selection. If it will do anything, no, it should not. Let's unisolate. Let's select and let's isolate. Let's get back to triangle select here and let's select. So I want to make sure that hit back faces is selecting all faces with one swipe like this, right? And I think it is doing that. So I'd like to press Shift and deselect, and then just try this again and see if it's going to do the same job. I think for now in this scenario, both they can do the job for us. So I selected this mesh here, and I'd like to click on separate. So it's one separate piece. Click OK. And if I click Click back again. We have now this mesh. It's separate. I can move it around, and now we have this mesh, which is its own mesh, right? So let's save. Ronnie, how are you, buddy? How's it going? Asdi, can you quickly explain the modeling tools? Yes, I'm gonna go through the modeling tools while we go through the environment and explain what is really nice about these modeling tools, like some useful case scenarios. So, selecting this part, I'm gonna press Shift 5 again to go back to the modeling tools. Sorry. And if you don't see the modeling tools, just make sure that under edit, go to plugins and here search for modeling and you will find them here. Enable this, restart your engine, but I think by default they're always enabled. Now I'm going to click or to scroll all the way down to where we have UVs, and under project, I want box projection, and I'm going to set the dimensions. So I am glad that the dimensions here are now in the units, in the word units. So if you set 200 by 200 by 200, it's 200 by 200 by 200. It didn't used to be like this. It used to be, this was not possible. So these tools are receiving constant updates and they're getting more and more better. Now, what I'd like to do is to rotate this by 30 degrees. So I can just click and rotate. If you have the snapping on, its rotation should be easy. Okay. So we make sure that, let's go to top view. We make sure that they align like so here. And if you want to be more accurate, here also you can change how the gizmo of this. So I went to local mode. You can also rotate this, so you can have like better projection of the texture, right? And you can change it, so set these to where you like. Now you have more freedom. I'm going to set it approximately. I might change some of these later individually, like map these faces individually. It sounds actually very cool because I like this line and I want to repeat it on every face. So this might be a cool challenge. For now, I'm gonna click OK. And just like that, we fixed the mapping of the surface from like being stretched and not really good to really much better. So now you can do almost all mapping operations inside of Unreal. Hey, UNF Games, how are you, buddy? It's good to see you, man. How's it going? I love your tutorials. Adam, buddy, hello. Adam Grask, I didn't see your hello before. How are you? Okay. I'm going to add some decals now, so let's go to Quixel Bridge. And let's search leak. Let's search for leak. And let's type also decals. So you can use these as tags. You can type surface, or you can 3D object or plant or whatever, and to show you like what you want. So I overuse these a lot. I wonder if there is anything that looks kind of special that we can also use. I'm also going to stop the music for a bit. Remove this. This is better for me. You can play your own music, guys. Or I can keep the music on if you like. Tell me in the chat. It's up to you. But I know most of you prefer without. Let's download this and let's see what quality. It's medium. Okay. Small good decisions. Buddy, how are you? It's good to have you. It's good to see you again. I am having this problem where it's not exporting not creating the material instance, and I don't know why. So, by the way, we can talk about this maybe later, but if you used to search for the Megascans icon and you can't find it, I heard from like saw this couple of times where we used to create blend materials. Now it's here. So next to the download settings, this icon, you can select multiple material instances and create a blend material. We're gonna try this maybe later. It's been a while. So what I'm doing regarding here, I'm just making copies of assets, copying the same name and pasting. And then let's replace the materials. So if this happens, that's how it is. I need to look at it though. So diffuse, normal, and notice the masks texture is not applying. This is because, sorry, it's here virtual texture and here it's not a virtual texture. And for virtual texturing, masks are special case scenario. We need to uncheck virtual texturing on them. I know for those who saw the stream multiple times, for those who are new. So to do that, click on the mask and go to texture. Then you will find advanced. Go click on it. Go all the way down, and here you have virtual texture streaming. Let me make sure you can see it, right? Barely, right? Yeah, I just saw. So I'm just checking here. Right. Disable this, save, and now we can replace this. Click, drag. Rotate. So every time you add a decal, the actor, you have this arrow. It needs to face the face you want to put the decal on. Like so. And to see better, you can go to Unlet and you can see better. And one thing we need to pay attention to is to click on the texture and make sure that in a way we match the aspect ratio, so it's like extremely long and too short. So now you can see there's some stretching or things going on. So in a way this should be much longer so we can see its effect. So it's a very nice stylable texture. But if you want to make it this big, we need to download the much higher quality texture. And I actually like this. So let's see if we make it this large, because now you see it's much better to see tiling if we in unlet mode. Here, there's this. But before we dive deeper into, let's just set this up. And before we dive deeper into the texture here, let's try select Deep Habibi. How's it going? Adam, I'm fine. I do character for challenge medieval animation, the Clint animation, the create with Clint. Small good decisions. I'm glad you're doing good, buddy. You're still trying to figure out the emission material animation. Wow. How's it going? Did you make any progress? So let's go to triangle select, and actually before that, let's go back to UVs and check what type of things we have. So project, seam edit, X-form UV, there we go. So if you select an island, let's see, if this will work. Anyway, yes. So I'm going to place this on the top every time, right? This needs to go down, and this needs to go down, and this maybe needs to go up, so we don't have maybe less styling. I don't know how if this is a good idea. And it's kind of weird to move this around, but I love this. This is legendary. The way you can control your UVs like this in Unreal now, sign me up. So, good job, devs. These tools are improving. I love this. Like, click accept. Now it's even more obvious that's stylable. But the freedom of moving these the way you want, that's so dope. All right, so let me start from here. So here I have a 4K image. This is the one I'm using across the project. Let's style it here and start with the base. So we can select these, isolate, and go to the side. I think I should choose a better side next time. Something easier to work with. But this is the texture, and if we open it to see, it's the aspect ratio is 1:1, so it's like a box. If we want to keep like the same type of level of detail, right? So if like doing this will stretch it, obviously, but I've done this a lot, don't worry. It's okay. And let's start with the base. So we put one here. And before we start with the base, I think the most important thing is to make sure it aligns well with the normals of this guy. And I wonder if the surface snapping here would help, actually. Yes. Perfect. Perfect. This is nice. So instead of modeling, you may or may not know surface snapping here, but instead of rotating this, or any surface actually, so it can fit perfectly in terms of how you are putting this on the surface, we can use surface snapping. And if you look at the normals of this face, if you can imagine with me the normals, they are like moving this way, right? What I mean is, quickly, let's just draw, this is the face, and its normals are like facing this way, right? And if we look this way, like to from the same normals, and if you select any object and set it on that direction, so basically that's X axis on this face. So you select the handle in between. So in this case, if this is X, you select Z and Y, and now you can snap it wherever you like. So I'm gonna create a box, put this box. Now it's rotated and snapped and all, but I'm going to do this. And I think select these two. Nope. So it's always tricky with selecting which two axes, basically. If you manage to select the right axis, it will snap perfectly. In this case, we were lucky that it was the Z and Y. So sometimes it's not easy to work with surface snapping, just so you know. But when it works, it's perfect. So now here I'm struggling with this box a little, I guess. Let's see here. Yeah, it does not want to snap anywhere because it's a box. And be careful on what surface you're snapping to. It does not work all the time. So just when you do your snapping right, turn it off. That's what I prefer. And let's put one here. Let's make it big. Let's rotate this, or like scale it like so. So it's like rotated. It's mirrored, basically. We can make this bigger if you want to exaggerate stuff, but I prefer to keep them small. Maybe just this part. We will see how they will fit with the rest. Let me read the chat and stretch my leg. Small good decisions. It's not going so well since you found ways to make only one directional emission material animation like paneling, etc. But it's not the way you need it for the car lights. Did you experiment with the mapping of the mesh you're working with? Small good decisions. Asdi, are you gonna use some more decals because you run light hit limited area? Sorry, are you gonna use some must decals because I actually never thought about this, Asdi. We can try something. Let's see. This is actually good idea. Yeah, let's see how this looks. Raphael, could you use a point light and reflective cup for headlights? Could you use a point light and reflective cup for headlights? I didn't understand. Balogan, yo, what's up, buddy? Is this like... I'm trying to understand, Raphael. Let me drink more tea, maybe it will make this work. Lovinari, what's up, buddy? Hello. How is it? Oh, I'm coughing recently. What was created in Blender? Well, it's technically the details of the environment. I created the block out in Unreal Engine and took it first to Max to work on the level more, but then I wanted to learn Blender, so I took all of this to Blender. And yeah, so like the environment, mainly the environment. But I would say it's not 100% Blender. It's a mix of tools. But it could be done 100% in Blender, of course. And let's do this. So pressing F to focus my selection. And while we add these, let's not forget that we can play with their opacity. So maybe you can add something that's large, but because Yeah, it's too early for 8K decals. So let's add something large like this and put it on the tab here. Make it large like so and move it away. And it will have this nice effect on your surface. And we need to be careful with the placement of these as well. So if you make more of these around, and this can act like a good base. Let's switch back to let mode. I want something here. Let me read the chat. Adam, the snap tool will not work if you have two planes under different account, but have one smoothing groups. Okay, I need to do more experiment with that, but I can recall stuff like this. The snapping tool works in very interesting ways based on where your camera is and where how you're looking. So for anyone who will be using it, good luck. Rafael, you were talking to Small Good Decisions. Toon, Toon, Toontown. How are you, buddy? Do you use retopology? Epic project, thank you. How long it took you? I started this on my free time about like 40, 50 days. During a call with my friend of mine, Xavier, very good friend of mine on a Discord call. And it was like a personal project. So I don't know how many hours in total I spent, but I expected like 20 to 25, I don't know. And across a period of like a month so far. I worked on this so far, like, yeah. If I were to work on this from scratch, how long it would take? Like 3 days, 4? If like every day you're working full time on this. Because Toon, buddy, Toontown, almost everything you see is thanks to decals. Um, so I think I created the environment in like 3 days, and then the whole month is just placing decals around, and yeah, because they work as great separators. They you can go away. I just wanted to see how much I can do with decals in a brutalist environment. So there we go. Hey, Chris, buddy, good to see you, man. Official Chris. Yes, official Chris. Kudos, Habibi. Thank you, man. I'm so glad you like it. It's good to see you. How have you been? I pinged you on Discord and you pinged me back, and I'll ping you again. But since you're here, it's good to see you. Aziz. Aziz Kam. Habibi. Yeah, man, thank you. It's going great. Stream is going good. But I need to turn on the AC. It's so hot recently. It's a vicious cycle between turning on the AC, then turning it off, then on again and off again, because you either get cold or hot. I'm not complaining though. Let's do this. And let's put some music. Maybe we can do this. So, quick tip, when you have actors like this, it's easier to group them together instead of selecting them like so. So I'm going to select all of them, and what I did here is select all with the same material. Yesterday I made a shortcut for this, or the day before it during one of the streams, so you can select an actor with the same material. So like this, Alt M for me, then press Ctrl G to make a group. This is now grouped. So if I click away and I click back, it's a group now. So I have another shortcut, which is basically visibility, hide selected, Shift H. So I really want to see the wall without this. So I can simply select Shift H. Nice. I want this back again. I press Ctrl H. It's again, these are my shortcuts. You can set them from here. Hide selected, show only selected, show all actors. I think these are some of the top shortcuts any environment artist is going to use. So you can set them up from edit, editor preferences, and you can search for the commands. Tom Balvex, hello buddy. How's it going? So I would ask this question again because I see some new faces. Where are you guys watching from? Now, let's get back to our leakage stuff. This is 2K. It's time to get something. Yeah, we downloaded this earlier. Let's get it. The moss idea. Oh no. Let's move this here and make a copy. mi underscore moss. Let's do this, and let's set diffuse virtual texture, and virtual texture streaming on the mask should be disabled. And click the mask, assign it, click the mask, save it. Well, click everything and save it. Then let's select the material. So America, Egypt, Turkey, Germany. Nice. People from all around the world. As always, this is why I love the internet. Let's see how this looks. So, this is a recommendation from you, Asdi. This looks interesting, but it means so much more time to work on this project, and to be honest, I want to finish it and move on to something else. The Punisher meditation thingy challenge. That's something I'm very excited about. Toon Habibi. So it's morning on your end, Toontown. Turkey, Aziz. We are in the same city now, country I believe. I am in Istanbul. Drax, buddy. Good day to you. Don Holland. Thank you, man. Thank you. You're lit. Don Holland from Argentina. My man. Toontown. You found my live while looking for retopology for creating gloves. Interesting. You can retopologize things in Unreal Engine from here. If you want that quick tutorial. Mesh, remesh, but yes, I don't think this is the retopology tutorial you want. Well, I hope you are enjoying the stream, Toontown. It's good to have you on board. Let's see. So we were talking decals, and let's press Ctrl Space to bring back the content drawer. Bring this. So instead of bringing a decal every single time and like change it and rotate it and like struggle, I can make selected decal here, duplicate it, press Alt and move, this will make a duplicate. Then select the decal you want, just go to details now and replace the decal material. So click here and now this is a new material and it's looking good. You can select it and move it around like so. And let's put it on the tab. Can I, yes, thank you so much. Can move it. By the way, so this is might be useful. You notice me, like I click this, and like move things around, right? So that's basically when you select a decal, you press F to focus, then scroll up and down if needed. So I usually press F, I scroll down like so, then press Alt, then left mouse button, then rotate around, orbit around, then release if needed from the left mouse button, do the right mouse button for dolly zoom, and this would make it so much easier for me to like place things and see how they look from different angles really fast, right? So like so, it's gonna be smaller. Small good decisions. Yahya, what did you mean again for the light strip fade animation material mask? Wait. What did you mean for the material mask? I didn't understand the question, decisions. Prince, hey, previous stream you ran when I came. Oh, well, you catch me today, buddy. I'm here for a while now. So, you made it. Congrats. Good to have you. Aziz, I will check your YouTube, man. Now I wanna go see you again. Have a good stream. Thank you, Aziz. I hope you found good tutorials on YouTube too. I have good day. You too have a good day. If you are in Istanbul, I would like sometime in the near future to make a community gathering, maybe in Istanbul. Coffee for everyone. That would be dope. Toontown. I'm glad you're learning stuff. It's dope. Good morning. That's a great morning to start with. Distro VFX, buddy. Hello, first time here. Hey, welcome. One of the most important things I say to everyone who's new here, just make sure you stay hydrated, drink some water. Do you do mentoring? I do these live streams as much as possible to show the process of projects I'm working on, basically projects I can show, because yeah. And for mentoring, we have the channel on YouTube. We're making videos, and we make videos, and there are videos on the way that would make it easier to learn from watching a whole live stream. And we also have an academy where we also do some mentoring, but not one-on-one, where mainly it's recorded videos that are available on demand, and mainly in architecture, in visualizing and build architecture now, and expanding on other things. But one of the things we aspire to do more and more of is to do more mentoring. So yes, hopefully that something would happen in future. Are you learning Unreal Engine? Or something, or 3D? And how is it going? Yeah, this here we need to flip it. I think we ended here with much better result than we started today. I like this much more. And what is in a way very nice about the doing things in Unreal, I can isolate my selection, and if I want, because we fixed the mapping on here, like, and even we did what we like the, what do we call it, UVs, the X-form UV. So when you click here and select and move the face, since we detached the mesh from one mesh and it's in a way, so now if we look, there are inconsistencies, right, in here. So what we can do is select the part we want to duplicate and make 6 copies of it. But before we do that, I think we can delete this, but let's click Ctrl X, okay, and let's open a notepad and press here. Now our object is here. I didn't delete it, it's here in the notepad. Now I'm going to press E to rotate, make sure this is like on larger angle, and let's make 5 duplicates by pressing Alt and moving. I'm gonna reset this back to 5 and press Ctrl H, which is my shortcut again, which is if you right click, go to visibility, show all actors. I press Ctrl H to show all actors. I like this shortcut. And now, yeah, this consistency is looking so much better in these parts. And with like pattern like this, before it was so much randomized. It's like you don't know where this is placed. So I think, I am so glad for X-form UVs. Just select the face and move it. But it's easier if you detach it first. Asdi, one day you will visit Turkey. That's the favorite country, especially Istanbul. Istanbul is really nice city. Been here for 6 years now. 5, 6. I love it. Distro, you work as lighting artist in the VFX industry. Nice. But you wanted to change into real-time rendering with Unreal. Yes, I think this is a really good decision. Well, my background, I am an Unreal authorized instructor, so yes, I do mentoring, and we did lots of like studios in training. I did so much training last year for studios in India who work in the VFX industry and transitioning into Unreal. And in my opinion, you want to focus on look development, so it would be great if you learn materials and the material editor and lighting. So lighting now is so much simpler thanks to Lumen, so things, they just work. So that would be a great place to start as someone's working in the VFX. So learning what makes things look good and how to develop your own shaders and textures. Like, I know, I'm not sure, well, you are a lighting artist, so that would be so much fun for you. But for other people I used like to interact with, like they mainly want to showcase the assets they create in their DCC tools. So there were like so many things involved. And with lighting, I mean with Lumen, look at this. You can, it's fully dynamic lighting in real time. So what more could we ask for? You have an emissive light. Let's make a copy, and now it's emissive. So I think it will be fun. And if you want a place to practice distro for anyone who's learning Unreal, coming from a new industry, so this is, I think, especially for a lighting artist, it's a good place to start with the samples tab in Unreal here. There are some projects that you can relight from scratch. There is in samples and the marketplace. I would relight, for example, the virtual studio and whatnot. So yeah, if you want things to have fun with, you have the scene. Especially, I think what is challengingly fun, but maybe not for very new, well, even for new people, not so new, is to take Unreal Engine 4 scenes and relight them or remake them in Unreal Engine 5. So yeah, that type of stuff I would do to learn and get the handle of the engine. And feel free to ask any question during the stream and in the comments. Okay, I'm nearly finished with adding all decals. I feel like I have nothing to do anymore. We have these areas here. We have this bad error here. You know what I mean? Let's do this. Just to decide again, I like this much more, and I think we should copy it in a way to the rest, right? Right. And let's do that also quickly, and let's add it into its own group. Because what I don't like, if you zoom in, like you can see the pixelation, right? So it's not so good in a way. But this, again, this will cause pain. I always recommend from now on with decals to make them like bigger so you can control the opacity. So let's just reduce the opacity a lot. So it's like different color. And the same with this asset here. Let's select it, move it. And Asdi, if you ever come to Turkey, hit me up, buddy. Let's go. Alright. I will select these decals. This might... Actually, we learned very cool shortcut yesterday. If you hold Ctrl Alt, then left mouse button, you can make marquee selection like this. And I can select all the decals I want to select. Hold Ctrl and deselect what I don't want to select. And I think should keep it with Shift. No, wait. Let's do it again. There we go. If I want to isolate my selection, there we go. That's amazing, right? So it's Alt, Ctrl, then left mouse button. You would select anything under your view. So you're welcome. Just kidding. But if you found this useful, leave a like. I would really appreciate it. Especially if you didn't know it. Now we can move these, put them all here. And at the moment it's almost the exact same, but this one have even like more it's more pronounced. So we can select now some elements and move them around. Scale some of them like so. And play with the opacity. I keep these small because they add some sort of detail. So you have like some large leaks and some small leaks. And where we don't have leaks, so this obviously feels wrong. So we can take a leak and move it. And we should also start with something that's slightly large, but not that large. So there will be some sort of corner perhaps. something here and here, but let's rotate it and let's make it smaller. Let's put it here for funsies, and here, why not? Then we can select one from this here, so we don't keep rotating things around, and place it here. Let's see. And let's do this. Put it also here. Looks much better. So you need to blend. See, that's what's time consuming when you create worlds like this. But also keep in mind there are stuff like lighting and whatnot, so many things can help. So you don't need to spend time on places that you don't see. That's why it's important to know where your shot's at. And I know already I have an idea, so I have like many cameras on where I want some of my main shots, and I have a cinematic sequence as well. So yeah. Is this project for a video scene or making for game? It's for virtual production. It's mainly a Blender practice and something for fun. Something I love brutalist architecture. I recently, couple of weeks ago, watched the film Dunes. I love the lighting in Cyber Blade Runner. So this project is mix of things that I really like and love. And things I really want to learn. This is why Blender is in the mix. And I think starting this and switching to Blender to learn it was one of the best decisions I ever made. I made so much progress with Blender this month. I believe more than I made like in 6 months, because I forced myself to work on the app and not go back to 3ds Max when things get harder for me. You know what I mean? So yeah. Here we have some bad. Yeah, there we go. Also put decals in places that matter. I thought like here they would look really nice, but I think this is really large decal, so let's make it small. Actually, let's keep it large. I like it. Let's make one duplicate and make it like so. And nope. Let's try this again. In a way, it's trying to work. So let's do that. Rotate 90 degrees. And this is so weird. There we go. Let's disable this. Yeah, this looks kind of interesting. So when it comes to edges like this, for places where it matters, I'm doing some displacement work inside Unreal Engine, as you can see here. So you can select two meshes and like do booleans. So that's one option. And there are options where I'm sending the things, not sending things, but doing some Blender work to put like some, just to avoid like really sharp edges, right? This is something we do towards the end of a project, so keep that in mind. Suyaki, I don't, sorry for if I pronounce it not right. For the shading, do you use Blender or Unreal Engine? So all the shading in this project, all the materials are from Quixel assets, of course the decals as well. And I use the Quixel, like everything inside Unreal Engine. But in Blender, the only shading I kind of done is just to help me work on the UVs better. So of course we can do mapping inside Unreal, but we can do it in Blender, so I'm like learning Blender. So Blender mainly for meshes, to build the environment, to build the assets of the environment, to add details, to make things that you can't make in Unreal. And in Unreal you bring everything together, you create the light, the materials and everything, then you either make an experience out of it, or a film, or a game, or anything, depending on what you want to make. In my case, I want to make Doom inspired game. I'm just kidding, but I would imagine this would look nice place to, I don't know, shoot some angels as a Doom guy, or maybe not, just do some Zen work, who knows. One of the things I wanted to do with the modeling tools, and sometimes textures are breaking, that's interesting, is to delete the floor. So let's do that. Let's select poly edit, sorry, triangle select, make our brush smaller, right? And then select the floor. And no need to hold anything, you can just select and it will keep your selection selected while you select. So just select, sorry. So click to select, and let's click delete, and there is a floor under it. That's not nice, so I'm not happy. I'm kidding. We can fix this back in Blender if I want. Do I want to do this? Let's click cancel and let's select again. There is also maybe a way to select connected faces in a way. Okay, so what I want to do is to duplicate and separate and click OK and select my duplicate face, which is this one. Okay, and I'm going to click on poly edit, select the poly group. Now this is called poly group, this might be for another tutorial, like the basics of modeling. And I'm going to inset, okay, and I'm gonna click OK. Now I would like to, let's go back in selection, make sure this is our selection. So I want to delete the exterior faces first, or like after my inset. So what type of inset did we? Okay, let's select this again then. I don't know, I don't think it did the inset for some reason. So poly edit, select this. Let's do inset, like so. Let's click accept this time, and let's go back to poly edit, select this and press shift and select this, the poly groups, and I'm going to delete, and I will click extrude, select this, then click extrude and move it up like this. And this is like some thick mesh. I would just want to extrude it more and more, and I want to do some I wanted just to make an opening between these two parts, right? And I'm just showing off what you can do with the meshes as well. Oh no, did we duplicate or delete our mesh earlier? I think we did. So no problem, I didn't want to detask this completely. Let's select these two, and we can actually merge them both together. So now they are one mesh again. There is also triangle edit. So now I think if you move this, did it merge the... No, it didn't merge. So I want to merge the vertices because I want to do Boolean operation. And if you have open mesh like this, it would not work Boolean. So I remember... No, it's not one. So let's start by isolating the mesh, like so. And was it? Yes, under mesh operations, we have weld, okay? And you can set the tolerance for the weld. So I can put it, for example, 0.1. This is the units. And now click accept. And you would think that nothing happened, but if we go to the poly edit, sorry, triangle select, or wherever, poly edit, select this, move it. Now it's one mesh. It's attached again, which is dope. So let's click accept, and let's select this, let's save, and let's isolate. And I'm gonna make a duplicate of the floor and of this, and I'm going to select these two, and I'm going to Boolean. Yeah, they're poly model mesh Boolean, and we want A minus B or B minus A. In this case, it's B minus A. That's one. I'm gonna select this below it as well. Make a duplicate. Make another Boolean. Where is it? And let's do this again. The engine who don't want me to move the camera, bro. Select this. And this. Yeah, now we're talking. Wow, okay. So let's make this large. Okay, but before we do the mapping, we do the Boolean. Let's fix the mapping on this first and then do the Boolean operation. So I'm going to go to UVs, go to either auto, see if this is going to help us in any way, but I like to use project, it's just easier. So let's use project and set it like 500 by 500 by 500. Click OK. And yeah, this one's funny, right? So let's click these two and let's do another Boolean. Boolean. Yeah, spooky. Of course, you can make duplicates of your meshes because this is kind of distractive. But if I can just move, I can't move. You know when you right click sometimes and the engine just goes back? Alright. Yeah, I like this more. What do you think, guys? Full floor, or should we just have a bridge here? Let's see in the chat. And while you tell me, I'm gonna take a look at the chat, see if there are any questions. Blender. You ditched Autodesk for Blender. You love it, Rafael. Hey. Asdi. Power is off. Oh no. I will see you after an hour if you stay live. I will do my best. I'm feeling tired already. I should close soon because I still have so much more work to do. But I wanted to go live, so this is part of it. Jim, hello buddy. You really want to know, does it take very long time to render interior in Unreal Engine 5 images? Thank you so much. Jim, buddy, everything happens inside Unreal Engine um, happens in real time. So basically, to render an image, all you need to do is to take screenshot. Of course, um, there are tools like path tracing, of course, to make things, to render things. So if you don't want the real time, this is how it is. Um, the real question is, once you finish working on your interior and lighting and all, how you render this is using, once you create also your cinematic shots, you will learn the movie render queue. So it's a process. So it takes no time to render your images almost, unless you up the settings so high, but it takes some time to learn all the different tools you need to visualize your images. And it's not a hard process, I would say. So bridge, snaps, Sioki, it looks nice. Jack, Porter, good stuff, bro, thank you. Okay, let's go with the bridge. Adam, let's go with the bridge. So press Shift 5, let's add a box, and let's make a bridge. So the height 40 units, or 50 units, which is 50 centimeters. The depth is 350 units, I would say. And let's make this as at 500 for now. And let's move it here. Either like this or like this. Let's do it this. Now, I want to scale this. Let's say, hey, I have OCD and I want this face just like my good old Blender. So when you have, I don't even know how to do it in Blender. Let me show you here. So go to the modeling tool and go to Poly Edit, select the face, this guy, and move it. Okay? If you click Ctrl, you can snap it to any face. So if I want this to move exactly here to this face, I can move it, press Ctrl, and now it's here. It's like perfectly aligned on this face. Okay? So let's press Ctrl Z and let's click accept. Yosh. And let's take this material for our nice little bridge. Yeah, I would be scared to go here now after we open this up. I would be also scared to look downstairs. Okay, what happened? Let's select this and fix this abomination of a UV. So let's select this as well. And you're gonna make those bridges, light bridges. Jack, I didn't understand. Should we put some supports for them? Is that what you mean? Or should we add some lights? Which one? Alright, so I'm going to keep this selected and under, sorry about the camera, project 200 by 200 by 200. Looking good. Or maybe we can make it bigger, like so. So we keep things consistent. Let's do that. And let's select this guy and let's also do that. So project 400 400 400. And obviously we need some more decals like always. But let's see how these decals, we don't see them in effect a lot from here. Well, we kind of do, which is okay. But where I am interested now in seeing decals is this wall here. So I'm gonna select this. And let's see how it looks. Oh, damn. It looks dirty. It looks old. It looks like, don't get near me, I'm old and it's so deep. I like this. Decals are like magic. Nah, make them like they are made of light. Ah, okay. Like a material effect on the mesh itself. Is that what you mean? The same for this, maybe? I like Brutalist. Maybe you can make bridge come from floor, goes in opposite floor, which has square hole. Yeah, that's possible. And I think that's what makes me excited about working inside of Unreal Engine 5. Thanks to Lumen, you can interact with materials, geometry, and lights in real time, see their effect, do whatever you want, without the need to bake anything. So, it thinks they just look so good. Let's test our theory. Is Lumen still dope? Yes, but I have some effects here that I don't know what's happening. What is this effect? Could it be because the volumetric fog from the light? Yeah, it is. If we get rid of this light, huh? How many? Ah, is it this light? Yeah, that's why. With 2 clicks, we changed lighting here completely. Nice. Kiran, Habibi from Nepal, from Mount Everest. Thank you, bro. You're super talented. No, you. Thank you. Adam, Giri Rust Under. Yes, that is exactly. Connie, how are you, buddy? So, did you just use Lumen to achieve such good lighting? All lighting is dynamic, so yes, all lighting is lit with Lumen. So we have our emissive surfaces, but also under almost every emissive surface, I have lights to support these surfaces, right? So you can see this here. The type of effect we have is impressive, but I think after deleting it and returning it, I think it's way too high. So let's do it like so, maybe. And the same here. And I think in general there is so much things going on. So every important light source, I have a light for it. And I think one of the biggest factors in the environment is the volumetric fog. So if you search for the volumetric fog, exponential height fog basically, and hide it, damn, massive difference, right? So volumetric fog on the atmospheric fog is like very important. And yeah, so these type of settings. So yes, Connie, with Lumen, with these things in mind, I also have hardware ray tracing, but yesterday we discovered like it does not have such effect on this scene, since we don't have any reflections or anything. Just make sure like if your meshes are generating good enough mesh distance fields. So if you are not achieving good lighting with Lumen, the Lumen scene or the surface cache might be the problem, right? So now in the surface cache, because of the geo type of the mesh, it's like this is kind of complicated. These areas will look black in the reflections. So one of the things that are like, I'm getting away, there is no reflections in the scene. But if I were to bring a sphere, so let's make it. So like what I'm trying to say, how you make your meshes is very important. It will affect how global illumination works, basically. The way you detach your meshes, if they have thickness, if they don't have thickness, and this type of things, right? So also, let's just bring a sphere. And let's make it big. Let's bring chrome material, perhaps, if I have any. Yes. I'm not so sure if it's visible. Surface cache. Should find a really good example. Because here it's kind of not. Here it's supposed to be black. But trust me, you don't want whoa, these purple things. They affect global illumination and they affect reflections. And since we are using ray traced reflections, it's actually fine. But if we were using Lumen software reflections, it would not be fine. So now I have here hardware ray tracing on. This is why the lighting and things, you can get away with no, sorry, go back a couple of steps. Let me show you something. I don't want to give impression that you need an RTX card to make your projects looks nice. This is what I want. I've been like working with 1080 Ti for a very long time, so it makes things nicer. Hardware ray tracing, that's for sure. But the main reason it makes things nicer is not because it makes things nicer. I would say hardware ray tracing is an easier option to work with if you don't want to detach your meshes from the start of the project and you want for ray tracing to track against the triangles of the actual meshes. That's for me where I think hardware ray tracing really worth it. But for now, you would not notice any difference in the global illumination, except for here, maybe. I don't know if you can see it, guys. Slightly brighter. So this is without, and this is with. And one of the areas we can actually see it here. But if we get rid of these, you still have some sort of nice lighting. But with ray tracing, it looks so much better. That's for sure. Oh, I need to stand up or something. My legs hurt. We've been here for a while. Say hello to this guy. Hello. Anik, Heidi, do you use Unity? Oh no, I know some friends who use Unity a lot, but I don't use Unity. I tried it. It's nice, but I like Unreal more, much more. Connie, I'm glad, buddy. I'm glad. Wolf, man, congrats for your first game, buddy. You're working on a video game. Not the belt again. It's good to see you again. Wolf, man, buddy. Well, how are you? All right. So let's continue. I think we are nearing a point where I can finally finish this and export it to just wait on the lag. And make a cinematic out of it, basically. I think these parts can be slightly bigger. So let's do this. Here. This is actually a nice decal. I don't think I used this a lot. Or did I? Well, that's okay. The same shortcut I repeat earlier. Hey, Wolfman. Mr. Matrix, love from South Africa. Habibi, thank you. Love back to you too. How do you make a mirror in Unreal Engine 5? So, Mr. Matrix, in Unreal Engine 5 with Lumen reflections, they use, if you use software ray tracing, you can't get away a lot. I would say it's not possible to make mirrors with software ray tracing because in Lumen, for it to work, it counts on something called mesh distance fields, and Surface Cache basically needs these mesh distance fields in order to generate reflections or global illumination, and these you can access them like the rendering. So I'm gonna show you how they look. So if you go to show, sorry, let visualizers, no, you go to show, visualize, mesh distance fields, there we go. You will see this is the type of reflection you're going to get. Not this, actually, it's very similar to this, and we can view it from Lumen, from the reflection view. And basically it's this. So now it's using hardware ray tracing. So let me disable that. So this is basically what you get with software ray tracing in the reflections, which is really not a lot. Like, it counts on how far you are from a mesh and what is the level of detail on it and whatnot. So if you want mirrors in real time, which is something very challenging, you need to enable hardware ray tracing. When you enable hardware ray tracing, it will track against the mesh topology itself, and it's just much higher in terms of quality, right? So you can see the difference. And even this is not like the best reflection you can get, but basically we're getting there. Now, there are other solutions where you don't use reflective materials or like any material, but this can cost some programming. I never used it, but we have something called, let's just disable this. So the easy solution answer to your question is enable ray tracing, and basically that's the best type of mirror you can get. But if you want something that's slightly higher quality, you will need to work towards it. And I don't have the definitive answer, but I have a theory. It's not mine basically, but I'm sure it's something we've seen in action. But basically it's possible in engines to capture a scene. So this is an actor called scene capture 2D. All right, and if you go to the details of this actor, you can set a texture target. So I'm just explaining some theory here. I don't know how to do the full render. Like this will not show you how to make a mirror. Okay, this will just maybe give you place to start with. You can set render target or canvas render target. So you need to create a new asset. So let's create a new asset here, new canvas. Click save. And if you click here, open the material you captured, and let's disable alpha. It's basically what this camera is seeing, right? So you can change the output, and you can make a material out of this and assign it somewhere. Like imagine if you have like security camera, you want to make it. This is one of the ways you can make security camera, let's say. Now imagine if you had some sort of blueprint that runs in runtime with getting an image like this, and you have a mirror, assigning this on a mirror, and if you're looking from this direction, you have something to calculate the vector of a surface in front of you, and like make sure the camera is looking in the where you should see the reflection, and then assign that on the texture. This is something I've seen. It's way too complicated, but like this is some of the best type of mirrors you can get. But it's extremely expensive to render. It is so expensive to render, especially if you go up with the quality. And of course, it needs some programming and blueprint work. So I hope this helps, man. The easy question again, sorry, the easy answer, ray tracing. But I understand not so many have ray tracing, so their creative solutions must be made. Tijarij, good evening. You watched some of the stream sessions, thank you. I got to tell you, these live streams are so valuable, thank you. 2 hours of useful content, tips and tricks, hell yeah, amen for that. These sessions are the best on YouTube for you, E5. TJ Raj, sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, but thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And if the team hears this, everyone will be so happy. So it means a lot to us. Wolfman, how can you use... How? I don't understand. Vert, lovely lighting and environment modeling. I work in VR stages. Cloud technologies, and your work is really impressive. Vert equality buddy, thank you so much, man, and welcome to the stream. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you like it. It's full of decals, so I want to see this in VR, but this means light bake everything, but I bet it's gonna look nice. If I do it, I'm gonna do the stream as well. Hey, Mr. Matrix, I'm glad you're using hardware ray tracing. So if you enable hardware ray tracing and you have mirror material, the type of reflections you will get are basically the best type of reflections you will get within Lumen. Let's see if we can do something. I'm trying to stick to the topic of the decals here so we can finish this and start a new project. So I will do my best to see how much time I can spend here. But here's an object, and here is an material. Let's call it mirror. And I'm gonna click one, set it to 1, and give it to the base color. Click 1 again, set it to 1, and set it to metallic. So it's a metallic object. Click 0, and assign 0 to roughness. And now we have a perfect mirror, right? But there are no perfect mirrors, that's why the reflection might not look so good. If we assign this, this is the reflections we get, and it may look annoying on these emissive lights, but real-time reflections are like some of the hardest things ever to accomplish, and we're getting there. Now I'm not sure if I do some material work or mesh work on my meshes here so I can make this separated into pieces, if it would improve on my reflections. So I'm actually keen to see how we can improve on this. Obviously this looks so bad, it's unusable, and it does not reflect skeletal meshes, right? But again, reflections, translucency, I would say they are challenging, and they are some of the things that we need to sacrifice in real-time projects in a way. I'm not saying like delete it completely, but there is something for something, right? If you want full reflections, then we just path tracing, and there we go. That's perfect mirror here, but again, you're calculating very complex rays and things in real time, so it's not the same. So the best is either becoming a graphics developer, join the Epic team, I don't know. I don't say wait, but we're getting more and more updates always. Now, I want to click Alt Control and left mouse button to make this nice selection. Select all these decals, isolate my selection, select this again. And if you want to ask questions on how do you isolate your selection and all, feel free. So the decals that I don't want are these small ones here. So I want these only. Thank you. And let's click Alt, move it to the top. We want to fix this place in something, and the one below it, and the one below it, and here. I actually wanted the decals that were there, that they were here, because look at this. So let's press Ctrl Z multiple times, then press Ctrl A, except for this. Oh, not Ctrl A. We want this here. All right. Let's make a duplicate and move it all the way up. Select this bad actor, one of these. Yeah, this guy. Get out of here. Select these and move them. Almost perfect. Right. Without. All right. With. Without. With. Amazing. So let's make another duplicate, rotate it another 60 degrees and move it here. And the reason we don't see it is because I pressed G to toggle game mode, right? So I usually see better. And when you select an axis, like so, and press G and move it around, you can still do that. So guys, I think I need to close soon because I still have some other work to do, and it's already 9 p.m. I'm not gonna complain. But I really have to go soon, so maybe I will take the last 5-10 minutes answering some of your questions, So if you have some questions, this is a good time. And maybe next stream, if you don't see me working on another environment completely, it will be sharing with you the render settings and how I'm going to set up the cinematics for this project here. Also, I'd like to give a shout out while we're at it now to Tusi. I need to know how can I read Russian, Indigo, Thomas, Lesson, Alphon. Thank you, all of you guys, for subscribing. So it helps us a lot. Leaving a like, subscribing if you're enjoying the stream. So I'm gonna take a look now at the questions in the chat before we go. Hey, Muhammad Ali. Hello, buddy. Oh, why you come here when I want to go close the stream, brother? On games, Abdullah Ali. Buddy, place a reflection actor. That is useful for screen space reflections, but with Lumen is kind of different. There is also, by the way, for reflections, planar reflections, they actually are also good. I didn't use them with Lumen as much, but planar reflections are also one way to get some cool reflections. Many ways. There is like so many workarounds since there is no official like true reflections yet, so we can fake it in so many ways. Jake Cordero, buddy. All the luck, dude. You will continue now working now with the game you are creating. You were taking a break. It looks awesome. The project looks awesome. I bet your game also looks awesome, Jake Cordero. If I wanted to stay here more, I want to ask you what game are you making? So if you're still here, tell me. Amazing. The texture coordinates applied for all materials. How can we make it separately for each? Muhammad Ali, that's a beautiful question. So in Unreal, we have something when you click on any static mesh, go to the modeling tools, all right? And then go to the UVs here. You will find what we call Xform UV. If you click on it, click on any island, and you can move the UV of that island up and down, left and right, so to create variants. So I hope this answers your question. Does it answer your question, Ali? Mr. Matrix, you've got similar results with the mirror material. You were just wondering if better results were possible in real time without path tracing. I believe there are. I want to take a look more into this. Maybe in next streams we can explore mirrors. If you learn something, I'd love to learn from you. If not like all of you guys, if like next streams we can talk about mirrors or join the conversation on Discord, that would be dope. Let's do this. Yeah, what's up? Harun, come say hello before we go away. Look at this boy. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here today. We will take some of the final questions at the end in another time because the last question, TJ Rack, that's one I covered in the last stream. If you have the time to cover it, or if you are here in the next stream, maybe we can cover it. So it was a pleasure, guys. Thank you for being here again. Stay hydrated, stay awesome, and keep creating stuff.